welcome to Immature Designer. Today we will be learning about how we can make a pivot table using this pivot option in your Excel. So first of all, this is a example data in which I have written the name of different fruits, the quantity in which the fruit has been sold, the price of the fruit, and the location from which the fruit is being sold, right? So this is just an example data. Now what we're going to do is that we will be making a pivot table and understanding and analyzing the data, right? So first what we have to do is that to make a pivot table, you first select the data of which you want to make the pivot table. After selecting the data, you need to go to this insert option. When you go to the insert option, from here you can see that the pivot table option is there, right? There are two things that you can do. If you click on this drop down, then you're getting some extra options, but for right now what we will be doing is that we just need to create a pivot table from a table and a range, not from an external source. This is our source, right? So from table and range, so I'm clicking over here. Now this pops up. It asks that do you want to create the pivot table on this particular sheet itself, or do you want to create a new sheet? This is sheet 1. You want to create a new sheet, and in that new sheet you will be having your pivot table. So for this particular example case, let's do it in this sheet only so that it would be easy for me to refer to the data again, right? So we'll be clicking on existing worksheet. Now location. So from where do you want to start the pivot table? Because pivot table is also like a table only. So from where do you want to start? This particular data frame is starting from A1. From where do you want to start the pivot table? So just for example, you can take any empty location in this sheet. Let's just take a location which can be easily visible on the video. So I'll be taking this particular location. For the location, I'll first write that I want it in the sheet number 1. Now giving an exclamation mark, and then I will say from where at sheet number 1 at A9 location. Then I will be also selecting add this data to data model. You can also prefer not to select it. It just is important because when you want do some deep analysis, then you can use this option there. Then you get some extra options in pivot table. For current scenario, let's just leave this and let's just create a basic pivot table, so just you will get an understanding of it. From here, now everything appears on its own. As soon as you clicked on that OK button, you see that this popped up, and this is the location from where your pivot table is going to start. Now let's just analyze the data. So just for example, you can do anything, right? You can do anything. Let's just first understand what are these 4 things, because this is the most important thing. You can if you understand this thing, how to use this thing, you can easily create and do work out with pivot tables and very quickly, right? So let's just see. So let's just take location. You just have to click over here, drag it to any of the boxes. You can see there's a green line appearing. So when you drop it over here, you see all the locations have appeared over here, right? So now I said that I want location in my row, and basically the question, maybe let's just take a question. So our question is that, so you want to know that how much quantity of fruit was sold in India, how much was sold in California, how much was sold in New York. Now from this data you can easily see that okay, in India is just 10, 20, 20, so it's just 50 in India, 5 in California, and 5 in New York. But this data is very small. If that data would have been of lakhs of rows, you couldn't count it, right? So there pivot tables comes in use. So now this is our question statement. So that's why when I click over here, this thing appears again. Just click over here, this thing appears, right? So now that you know this count number of fruits, so location wise, that's why we are taking location in rows. You can do another thing also. You can take location in columns, and then you can get your data in columns, but it's better to view it this way, right? Location wise you will get the count of the fruits. Now how to get the count of fruits? So we will take the quantity column is right over here. Just take this quantity column, and then we will put that quantity column in the values thing, right? So this gives the sum of quantity. Now sum of quantity in India we got 55 and 5. Now if you wanted to get something different, average or something, anything else, you click on this thing, and this option appears. Removing the field will remove it from here, and we don't want that. We just want to explore something extra. So clicking on value field setting will, you'll see that this pops up. From here you can see count, average, maximum, minimum, product, everything. So now let's just take what maximum quantity was sold. If we take that maximum, we'll see that in India 20 was the maximum, right? 5 and 5 for these two things. So currently, let's just, for regarding the problem statement, we just want sum. You can also take count, but count will give you something like this: three quantities, three times three quantities were sold, right? In three different quantities. So for this problem statement, what we wanted was sum, the number of fruits, this total quantity, basically total. This problem statement satisfies, right? Now let's just change the problem statement and we'll say that not the total. Now I don't want total quantity of fruit. Now I want how much money I made, right? Now total earning from fruits sold by location wise. This is the location wise. What was the total earning? I don't know what is the total earning. How will get that? We'll just remove this thing. I don't want this thing. Remove this field. We'll go to the price column. We'll drag it over here and click. This is the sum of the price. Now you're getting the total amount that you have earned from these different things. You can also add different columns. You can also go keep that thing over here and add columns, right? Now so you can see that in columns you're getting values. Now what is filters? Now in filters, what we are going to do is that I will add a location over here. Okay. Now when I add filter, then it says that when you are adding a filter, then you can see that currently all the locations are selected. You just need to first understand the problem statement, what you want to do, and then drag things accordingly. I wanted location wise, that's why I have put location in my rows, right? A filter has been added over here. Location in my rows, and I wanted the different things in my columns, so I added these things in the values. And then this is the filter option. Currently the data frame is very small, so there was a boundary in which I was explaining. There is a limit to which I can explain from this small example, but I hope that you have understood the basics of a pivot table. It's not very difficult. Once you get used to it, once you start working, you drag things here and there. It's okay. If you have done something wrong, you can again drag it from here to here. You can just go like this and this. You can just see that now California, now I've dragged it over here. Oh no, it's not working out, so I'll drag it over here. You'll see that, oh yeah, it worked out. So just trial and error works, but once you understand how you're dragging things, you will be finally able to work easily with pivot tables. But this was the basics, and I hope that you have understood how to create a basic pivot table and have the basic idea of it. Thank you.